I set the table. 2 plates. 1 untouched. The television still glowing, Sophia smiling in a black suit, jurors bowing their heads like disciples. They call her the executioner now. My phone buzzes. Liam's name. Don't stay quiet this time. I let it ring. Silence is my answer. Funny thing about silence, it cuts sharper than any verdict. And as I watch her face on the screen, I remember the first night we met. Blood on my shirt. Her hand pulling me out of the dark. She looked at me like I was invisible even then. You never really see me, do you? The plate I set for her stays cold. I keep stirring the pasta anyway, like maybe the sound of the spoon will drown out the television. Sophia's face fills the screen, sharp and perfect, chin tilted the way she always tilts it when she knows she's already won. The jury doesn't even look at her, they look at the ground, like they've already surrendered. The anchor's voice says the words I knew were coming, they're calling her the executioner now. My phone buzzes. Liam. One message glowing. I don't open it. I don't need to. I can already hear his voice in my head, warning me not to let this go on, not to stay silent, not to keep pretending I'm just her shadow. But I let the phone buzz itself to death on the counter. Silence answers for me. The door clicks open. She steps in with that same victory air still clinging to her skin, courtroom perfume of sweat and ink and blood she never had to shed herself. She doesn't see the table. Doesn't see the food. Doesn't see me. She sets her briefcase down and runs her fingers through her hair. Her ring catches the kitchen light, and for a second it blinds me. I almost laugh. That ring, meant to bind us, reflects brighter than her eyes ever look at me. Long day? I ask. Voice steady, casual. Mask on. She doesn't even answer. She just pulls off her heels, sighs like she carried the whole trial on her back, and heads straight for the bedroom. I stare after her. The TV's still replaying her closing arguments, and the camera catches the smile she gave the jury. That smile used to be mine. My phone buzzes again. Liam. This time I open it. Just 4 words. They're calling her executioner. I type nothing back. My thumb hovers, but I put the phone face down. Because the truth is, Liam doesn't know the half of it. Nobody does. Not about her. Not about me. I kill the TV. The room goes quiet. Too quiet. And in that silence, I hear the words I never say aloud, words that hang over me like a verdict already passed. You never really see me, do you? It always comes back in flashes. Not dreams, flashes. The alley outside the courthouse smelled like cigarettes and wet asphalt. My shirt was half torn, blood running down my jaw. 3 men circling, laughing like hyenas. And then, her. Sophia's heels clicking against the pavement, sharp as gunshots. She didn't hesitate. No flinch, no pause. Just straight into the fray, her voice cutting sharper than the knife one of them carried. Drop it. They did. Not because they were scared of her, but because she looked at them the way she looks at juries. Like she already owned the verdict. She pulled me up by the arm, didn't even ask my name. Just muttered, "Don't get yourself killed before court starts." Then she walked away. Like I was nothing. Like saving me was just a line item between cases. And I stood there, bleeding, watching her silhouette vanish under the courthouse lights. Elias Carter, that's the name she never connected. The name I built because of that night. The name she would one day curse without realizing it was me all along. I come back to the present with the taste of blood still ghosting in my mouth. My hand grips the kitchen counter until my knuckles ache. The bedroom door creaks. Sophia steps out, barefoot, hair tied back now, glass of wine in her hand. She doesn't notice me staring. Doesn't notice the silence stretching between us. She raises the glass like a toast, half smiling at some private thought, and says nothing. I murmur it under my breath, too low for her to hear. You never really saw me then. You don't see me now. Her laugh floats back from the hallway. Not at me. At a message on her phone. And I realize I'm already bleeding again. Just invisible this time. The chandelier light at the gala drips gold across polished marble, too bright, too clean. I hate these rooms, the laughter that never touches the eyes, the clinking glasses sharp enough to cut. Sophia thrives here. She moves through the crowd like a verdict already written, colleagues circling her as if they want to be burned by the flame. Every so often she glances back, half-smile thrown my way like charity. And me? I'm the accessory. Husband as prop. Lucky man, one of her partners says, hand heavy on my shoulder, voice slick with champagne. Married to the executioner. The laughter swells. I don't drink. I hold my glass anyway. Another voice cuts through the noise. Daniel's name. Joked, tossed carelessly into the air. Sophia laughs. A small thing. A knife disguised as melody. I freeze. The room tilts. My grip tightens on the glass until it's a wonder it doesn't shatter. They don't notice. Why would they? I'm background noise in a suit. But her laugh keeps echoing long after the voices fade. I try to swallow it down, but it sticks. It sticks like blood in the throat, like memory that won't wash out. And all I can hear, under the chandeliers and the polished lies, is my own voice whispering where no one else can. You never really see me, do you? The apartment is too quiet. No gala noise, no champagne lies. Just me, the clock, and the taste of her laugh still sitting in the back of my throat. I pick up the phone. My thumb hovers over Liam's number longer than it should. 3 years gone, and my voice still shakes when he answers. You're calling late. I'm coming back. Silence. Then the low exhale of a man who's been waiting for this, who knew the mask would slip eventually. You sure? I've never been more. I hang up before the weight of his questions can land. The mirror waits. I stand in front of it, shirt still wrinkled from the gala, tie hanging loose like a noose someone forgot to tighten. My reflection doesn't look like me. Not the husband, not the background prop. No, something sharper stirs beneath. I try the words, the cadence. A closing argument meant for no one. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The rhythm is wrong. I start again. Ladies and gentlemen. The vowels sharpen, the tone steadies. By the third pass, the room feels smaller, the air heavier, like the walls lean closer to listen. And there he is. Elias Carter. The man I buried to play house. The man she never saw, because she never bothered to look. The mask slides on so easily it terrifies me. When I speak again, it isn't practice. I could destroy you with one phone call. And for the first time in years, I almost believe it. The wine bottle's half drained when I walk in. Sophia's sprawled across the couch, heels kicked off, hair falling loose in a way that doesn't look like her. Not courtroom Sophia. Not executioner Sophia. Just, the version that forgets the world isn't hers to burn. She waves the glass at me, nearly spilling it. You didn't come to bed. I don't answer. Her eyes narrow, then soften. The way alcohol melts steel into something softer, Messier. She reaches for me, pulls me down with surprising strength. Her lips crash against mine, warm, desperate, tasting of red wine and something bitter underneath. For one heartbeat, I almost let it happen. Almost. Then she whispers it. Against my mouth. Daniel. The name cuts deeper than any blade. I go still. My hands drop away. She doesn't notice at first, still lost in the blur. But when I pull back, the air between us turns sharp, jagged. Her gaze unfocused, lips parted like she doesn't even know what she said. But I heard it. Clear. Clean. Undeniable. I stand. The silence is heavier than a verdict. She laughs weakly, as if she can smooth it over, as if it didn't happen. But the laugh only twists the knife. I stare at her, at the woman who saved me once and killed me slowly ever since. And all I can think is, there's no jury alive that would acquit her of this. The papers sit between us on the kitchen table. Clean. Precise. Like every blade Sophia ever wielded in court. She doesn't even read them. Just schemes, pen scratching quick as though this is another contract, another trivial motion. My hands stay folded. If they shake, she doesn't notice. "You're serious about this?" she asks, voice flat, eyes on her phone. Daniel's name lights the screen before she can hide it. She doesn't even bother to turn it over. Yes. One word. That's all I can give her without the rest breaking loose. She signs. No hesitation, no flicker of doubt. The pen clicks shut. She sets it down neatly, like she's closing a case file. "Okay," she murmurs. "If that's what you want." No fight. No plea. Nothing. She stands, distracted already, thumb sliding over her phone as if my absence will be easier to manage than her latest text thread. And in that moment, I realize, she'll never see it. Never see me. The papers are the coffin lid. Her signature, the nails. But the echo in my chest isn't finality. It's something colder. Next time we meet, it'll be in court. The suit feels like old skin. Tailored lines. Silver cufflinks. The tie Liam insisted on knotting for me this morning, his hand steady where mine refused to be. No Ethan here. Not the husband cooking dinners and waiting in doorways. This is Elias Carter walking back into the arena. The courtroom hums, reporters whisper, interns scurry, the defendant's entourage smells of too much cologne and arrogance. A CEO with teeth too white and lies too polished. He thinks his money will outlast me. It won't. The bailiff calls order. I stand. My voice carries like it used to, sharp, measured, honed. Every objection lands, every witness folds. The man's empire crumbles in front of him, piece by piece. His eyes flicker panic when I slam the final exhibit onto the desk, the signature proving he bled his workers dry for his own gain. Silence. Then the gavel. Guilty. The crowd erupts. Reporters shove microphones forward. They want blood quotes, victory speeches, sound bites. But all I hear is her laugh from that gala. The one where she laughed at Daniel's name and let them mock me. I straighten, brushing phantom ashes from my sleeves. No smile. No triumph. Just one thought beating through me, she will see this. And when she does, she'll realize. The man she signed away at the kitchen table didn't disappear. He's standing right here, across the aisle, waiting. Next time we meet, it'll be in court. Her office looks different tonight. Empty walls, muted lamps, the kind of silence that doesn't feel earned. Sophia's shoulders are squared, but the file in her hands trembles. Daniel's divorce petition. She schemes the pages once, twice. Every clause is stacked against her. His assets hidden, his witnesses prepped. It's not just a losing battle, it's a demolition waiting to happen. Still, she signs her name at the bottom. Counsel of record. Her partners watch from the doorway, arms crossed. One of them clears his throat. "You know this isn't winnable." Sophia's jaw tightens. I don't lose. But the echo in the room says otherwise. Daniel's voice slithers through the phone later that night, syrup sweet, half a plea, half a command. "You'll handle it, won't you? For us?" She closes her eyes, hand tightening around the receiver. For us. As if he hasn't been carving her open piece by piece for years. When the line goes dead, she sinks back into her chair, alone with the silence. Her phone buzzes again. This time, not Daniel. Unknown number. Just a name on the screen. Elias Carter. The one man who could dismantle her. The one man she doesn't know she already destroyed. And for the first time, she hesitates before answering. The night drags. Files spread across the desk, highlighter strokes bleeding neon over words that refuse to save her. Sophia leans back, pinches her temples. The case is slipping, Daniel's confidence curdling into threats. She needs help. A mind sharper than hers. Someone who won't flinch. Her eyes land on the number scribbled in the margin of an old brief. Elias Carter. The ghost whispered about in courtrooms. Ruthless. Precise. Untouchable. Her thumb hovers. Then she dials. The ring cuts through the quiet of my apartment. Sharp. Invasive. Too familiar. I glance at the screen. Blocked number. I almost let it die in silence. Almost. But I pick up, just enough for the sound to bleed through. Mr. Carter? Her voice. Low. Controlled. The way she sounds when she's cornered but won't admit it. My chest tightens. She doesn't know. Not yet. The silence stretches. Long enough that her composure cracks. Hello? Are you there? I lower the phone. Let it ring against my palm. Let the sound echo in the room. Then Liam steps in, confused. Why's Sophia calling you under the Carter line? And just like that, the mask fractures. Her lifeline has always been me. She just never knew it. Not until now. Cliffhanger. The door slams so hard the blinds rattle. Sophia storms in, heels sharp against the floor, fury bending her voice into something raw. You've been laughing at me for 3 years. I don't look up right away. Papers are spread across my desk, motions half-drafted, another case already bleeding into tomorrow. When I finally meet her eyes, they're wild. A mix of betrayal and disbelief, like she's staring at a stranger wearing my face. But I don't flinch. 3 years, she spits, pacing, hand slicing the air. While I fought, while I bled for clients, she stops herself. The name she almost says hangs heavy between us. Daniel. I lean back in the chair, voice even. No. I wasn't laughing. I was watching. That makes her freeze. Her mouth opens, shuts. Rage and shame nodding into silence. I let it linger. Let her hear every tick of the clock on the wall. Then I stand, closing the space until her breath hitches. Next time we meet, it'll be in court. Her throat tightens. She wants to throw something back, a weapon, a word, anything. But she doesn't. Because now she sees it. The husband she signed away at the kitchen table is gone. What's left is Elias Carter, and he doesn't forgive. The memory crawls back like smoke under a locked door. It was after midnight, the night everything blurred. The courthouse lights still burned in her eyes, champagne staining her lips, and Daniel's shadow still clinging to her. We staggered into the hotel, both of us wrecked, me from whiskey, her from pride. A clerk slid papers across the counter. Some dare, some drunken impulse neither of us should have fed. Marry me, she'd said, half a joke, half a challenge. And I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I wanted to believe she saw me, not him. We signed. The ink smeared. Ring slipped on with clumsy fingers. No vows, no witnesses. Just the sharp click of a pen and her perfume curling through the air. She leaned into me after, lips brushing my ear. Soft. Too soft. Daniel. The name cut sharper than any blade. I froze. My arms still around her, my mouth still inches from hers. But everything inside me collapsed. She never noticed. She never noticed at all. I carried her to the bed, laid her down, and sat there in the dark. Watching her sleep. Married, but not to me. A husband made of shadows. The courtroom hums with that low, electric tension, the kind that makes even silence feel like a verdict. Sophia walks in first. Straight spine. Crisp suit. That confidence she wears like armor. The gallery shifts, heads turning, whispers curling through the rows. She looks untouchable. She looks like she always has, like the law itself bends toward her. Until I stand. Your Honor, I say, voice steady, carrying across the room, opposing counsel seems to have overlooked a minor detail. Her eyes flick to me, sharp, calculating. The same eyes that once studied me across a kitchen table, unguarded. But here? They cut. I slide a file across the bench, deliberate. Clause 19, subsection C. It voids the prenup if the petitioner knowingly concealed assets. The judge leans forward. Sophia stiffens. She didn't see it. She missed it. And I know the exact second she realizes it, because her hand curls into a fist at her side, nails digging crescent moons into her palm. I don't smile. Not here. But I lean closer, voice dropping just enough for her to hear. You should have caught that. You always catch that. Her breath stutters. For a flicker, just a flicker, the courtroom walls fall away. It's just us again, locked in a battle that was never supposed to spill into this room. The judge calls for order. Papers shuffle. The case tilts in my favor. And Sophia? She stands frozen, pride cracking in her silence. Because for the first time, I've beaten her where it matters most. The verdict hasn't even cooled before the vultures descend. Headlines scream from every glowing screen in the city. Legal Titan secret marriage, who played who? Photos of us, her hand on my arm at some gala, me standing half a step behind her, blurred smiles frozen in time. The captions drip poison. The marriage was a con. The cases were rigged. The executioner and the ghost. By morning, the courthouse steps are drowning in reporters. Microphones shoved like weapons. Questions fired like bullets. Ethan, is it true you were married to Sophia Hale? Mr. Carter, did you use her career as leverage? Was Daniel Morgan the reason for the divorce? I keep walking. Eyes forward. Silence is the only shield that still works. But Sophia? She's cornered outside her office, cameras flashing like gunfire. One reporter shouts the line that cuts deeper than any ruling. Did you even know who your husband really was? She falters. Just for a heartbeat. And the world sees it. The mask slips, the executioner stumbles, and every rival who ever feared her sharp smile now smells blood. Back inside the car, I watch the footage replay on the little screen. The crack in her armor. The way she blinked when she heard my name tied to hers. For once, she's the one under the blade. And I don't know if it feels like justice. Or revenge. Her office is too quiet. Papers stacked, files sealed, everything in its proper place, except the one drawer left half open. She pulls it, expecting order. Instead, she finds my handwriting. Not one page. Not one case. All of them. Every brief she ever filed. Every motion, every loophole she relied on. My notes inked in the margins, corrections, counters, predictions. Whole strategies unraveled and rebuilt in my voice. Her breath catches, sharp in the stillness. I had been there the whole time. In her victories. In her defeats. Watching. Calculating. The pen slides from her fingers. She sinks into the chair, pages spilling across her lap. A marriage, yes, but also a mirror she never knew was tilted toward her. One line circles back in bold black ink. She never sees it. She never sees me. Her throat tightens. She clutches the paper as if it might answer the question tearing through her chest. Had I been her rival from the very beginning? Or her shadow, trying, failing, to be seen? When the door opens and the secretary pokes her head in, Sophia's voice cracks sharper than glass. Who gave him access to my files? The secretary blinks. Ma'am, those aren't ours. Those are his. The weight of that truth presses down until she can't breathe. Not just a husband. Not just an adversary. A ghost writing in the margins of her life. The cameras click like gunfire. Rows of lenses, faces hungry for blood. I step up to the podium. No script. No lawyer's polish. Just me, Ethan Carter, the ghost they tried to bury. They expect denial. Or charm. Or silence. Instead, I give them truth sharpened to a blade. You call her the executioner. You call me a fraud. Fine. Let's deal in evidence. The screen behind me flickers to life. Grainy footage, timestamp glowing. A hospital corridor. Me, bloodied, leaning against the wall, hand pressed to my ribs. She's there, too. Sophia. My wife. She glances at me once, then turns away, toward Daniel. He's clutching nothing but a paper cut, demanding attention. The room goes still. While I bled, she chose him, I say, voice steady, throat burning. That's your hero. That's your executioner. A reporter shouts, so this is revenge? I almost laugh. Revenge would be too easy. Too clean. No, I answer. This is disclosure. You wanted the villain? Here I am. The lights blind. The questions blur. But all I see is her face in that frozen frame, walking past me like I was already gone. And for the first time, I let the world see it, too. The headlines won't stop screaming. Her face plastered everywhere, traitor, failure, fraud. And then, silence. The news breaks like a stone dropped in water. Sophia Hale, the executioner, has given it all away. Not hidden. Not scattered. Every cent, wired into my foundation. My office freezes. Phones ring. Donors call. Reporters pound at the doors. And me? I just stare at the transfer receipt. Her name signed at the bottom. She doesn't call. She doesn't explain. She doesn't even try to see me. She just gives it all back. As if money could rewrite history. As if charity could erase nights spent bleeding in the dark while she laughed with him. I should be furious. I should throw it back in her face. Instead, I feel this strange hollow throb in my chest, like grief with nowhere to go. Because this is not victory. This is surrender. And for the first time, I wonder if she's finally learning what it feels like to lose. The rain comes down in sheets, blurring the road into streaks of silver. Sophia's hands grip the wheel tighter, knuckles white. Her phone buzzes in the passenger seat, Daniel. Again. She doesn't answer. The headlights appear in her mirror first, too close, too fast. She swerves. Tires screech. And then his car slams into hers. Metal screams against metal. Glass explodes inward. The world flips sideways, weightless for a breath. Her body smashes against the restraint, air ripped from her lungs. When the spinning stops, everything is smoke and silence. Her chest heaves, shallow, jagged. Blood streaks down her temple. Through the spider-webbed windshield, she sees him. Daniel. He's crawling from his wreck, eyes wild, face twisted. Not checking if she's alive. Not reaching for help. Just pounding his fists on the asphalt, screaming her name like a curse. Sophia tries to move, but her body won't listen. Every nerve is fire. Every thought flickers in and out like a dying light bulb. Her last clear image before darkness swallows her is Daniel, staggering closer, glass glittering in his hair, rage painted across his broken face. Then nothing. The call comes in at dawn. Liam's voice, tight, deliberate, she's alive. Barely. Car crash. Daniel's in custody. I don't answer. I just sit there, staring at the window, watching the city wake up like nothing happened. Alive. Barely. The words echo, but they don't land. I should feel something, rage, relief, vindication. Instead, all I feel is this numb ache in my chest, like someone pressed pause on my heartbeat. Liam says my name twice before giving up. The line goes dead. I pour coffee, handshaking just enough to spill. Burnt smell, bitter taste. Normal things. Things that should ground me. They don't. Because part of me wanted her to suffer. Part of me wanted her to bleed the way I did. And now that it's real, now that she's lying in some hospital bed, wires and stitches keeping her together. I can't breathe. I should go. I should see her. But I don't. Instead, I sit in silence, replaying her voice in my head. That laugh. That name she whispered that wasn't mine. And I wonder if this is punishment, if fate decided that justice wasn't enough, and it had to take flesh too. Alive. Barely. The words circle back, over and over, until they don't sound like news anymore. They sound like a verdict. The courtroom is packed, press, gawkers, lawyers who smell blood. Daniel Graves sits at the defense table, arms crossed, face stitched and bruised from the crash. Still smirking. I stand. Not Ethan Hale. Not the hollowed-out husband who spent years choking on silence. Elias Carter. The predator. The weapon. The indictment rolls out: attempted murder, reckless endangerment, aggravated assault. His lawyer objects, stammers, folds. Daniel never looks at the jury. He looks at me. Always me. Like this is personal. Like Sophia was just collateral in a war between us. And maybe she was. The evidence hits one by one: tire marks, impact analysis, witnesses. I lace every fact with precision, every pause sharpened to a blade. He doesn't flinch. He laughs. Actually laughs, like he's in on a joke no one else can hear. And for a heartbeat, I see Sophia, her broken body strapped to machines, tubes keeping her alive. The laugh dies in my ears. The fire comes back. Your Honor, I say, steady and cold, the people will prove that Daniel Graves didn't just crash a car. He turned it into a weapon. And he meant to kill. The room goes silent. Even Daniel stops smiling. For the first time in years, I feel the weight shift in my hands. The scales tipping. And I swear I won't let them tip back. The first thing Sophia remembers is the ceiling. White tiles, humming lights, the faint rhythm of a monitor syncing with her pulse. Her throat burns when she tries to speak. No words. Just air. Nurse leans in, gentle voice: "You're safe. Just rest." Safe. Funny word. She shifts her eyes. Flowers. Cards. A half-eaten apple in the trash. All signed with names she barely recognizes. Colleagues. Clients. Even Daniel, his name scrawled across the back of a photo, left there like poison. But not Ethan. Not once. She asks, voice cracked, rasped, for him. The nurse hesitates, then answers too carefully: he paid the bills. Every cent. But he hasn't come. Something inside her breaks quiet. Not loud, not sharp. Just a slow tearing sound she can feel but can't show. Her hand trembles as she grips the bedsheet. She wants to scream his name, curse him, beg him, but the room stays still, and her body stays weak. And then she remembers the last time she saw him. Divorce papers. His face blank, her hand distracted, Daniel buzzing in her phone. Maybe this is her sentence. Her lips part, whispering words too faint for the nurse to catch. "You should have let me die." The monitor keeps its steady rhythm. Cold. Mechanical. Nothing like a heartbeat. The courtroom smells of old wood and sweat. Cameras line the back wall, reporters scribbling, vultures waiting. Daniel Graves sits at the defense table in a pressed suit, scar still running down his cheek like a victory mark. He looks smug. Always smug. And then Sophia walks in. Pale. Fragile. A shadow of the executioner. The jurors lean forward. The gallery holds its breath. She takes the stand. Hands tremble as she raises them for the oath. Her voice cracks on the word, truth. I should look away. Should keep her as just another witness. But my eyes don't move. State your name for the record, the clerk says. Sophia Hale. The word Hale cuts. Her voice falters, but she doesn't correct it. The defense attorney smirks. He thinks she'll fold. That she's too broken to matter. I rise. Step closer. My voice steady, sharp, surgical. Mrs. Hale. Tell the court what happened the night of the crash. Her eyes flicker to me, just for a heartbeat. Then back to the jury. And she tells it. All of it. Daniel waiting outside her office. The glare of headlights in her rearview mirror. The scream of tires before the world shattered. The jurors flinch when she describes the impact, the glass cutting her skin, the silence afterward. And then, without prompt, her voice hardens. Daniel didn't just hit me. He meant to kill me. Gasps ripple through the room. Daniel shifts, jaw tightening. He finally loses the smirk. I let the silence hang. Let her words echo. Then, soft but deliberate, I ask, why would he want you dead? Her throat works. She hesitates. And then, because I was leaving him. For good. And he couldn't stand that I'd finally chosen myself. The gallery explodes with whispers. The judge hammers the gavel. But I don't hear them. I hear her voice. The same woman who once whispered another man's name into my mouth is now cutting Daniel open in front of the world. And for the first time in years, she's not lying. The courtroom fades. The walls, the jurors, the judge, gone. What's left is her voice. Sophia's voice. Breaking, rebuilding, breaking again. She doesn't testify like a lawyer. She doesn't argue. She remembers. Her office, papers scattered, coffee cold. Daniel leaning against her desk, too close, too casual. You missed a filing date, he says. But don't worry. I fixed it for you. She laughs, relieved. Doesn't notice the smug tilt in his smile. A whispered warning after a verdict. You're not ready for clients like him. Let me handle it. She believes him. Every time. A case collapsing because the evidence she swore was solid suddenly disappears. Daniel's shrug, the faintest suggestion, maybe Ethan's firm buried it. She swallows doubt. Trusts Daniel instead. The memory fractures. Faster now. His hand over hers, guiding her pen. His words whispered in her ear before she spoke in court. His constant reminders, without me, you'd lose. And then, the cruelest cut. The night she staggered home, drunk, whispering Ethan's name into Ethan's lips, only to hear Daniel's voice echoing in her head. He's not the man you think he is. He'll never choose you. Back in the present. Sophia's eyes glisten. She grips the edge of the witness stand like it's the only thing holding her up. Daniel didn't just lie to me. He built me. Every win I thought was mine, he fed to me. Every loss, he planted. And all the while, he told me Ethan was laughing behind my back. The jury leans in. Even the judge looks shaken. She swallows hard. Looks at me, no, through me. And I believed him. For years. I don't move. Because if I do, if I breathe too loudly, the truth of it might collapse. The woman I thought was ruthless wasn't careless at all. She was blind. And Daniel made sure she stayed that way. The gavel strikes. 3 words seal it, guilty on all counts. Daniel doesn't flinch. He smirks. Even with chains on his wrists, even with his life reduced to steel bars and concrete, he stares at her like he's still in control. See you soon, Soph, he mutters as the bailiff drags him away. Sophia trembles, but she doesn't answer. The courtroom empties in waves. Reporters, clerks, the curious public. All thinning out until it's just her and me. She lingers near the bench, gathering her things with shaky hands. Every movement is too careful, like she's terrified they'll betray how broken she feels. I stand in the aisle. Folder under my arm. Verdict echoing in my head. I could say something. Anything. But the words turn to dust before they ever leave my throat. 3 years of silence. 3 years of betrayal. And now she looks at me like I'm the only anchor left in a sea that swallowed her whole. Her lips part. Just barely. Ethan. I turn. Walk past her. My footsteps louder than her voice. Louder than the plea hiding in her chest. No touch. No glance. No mercy. The hallway swallows me whole. And behind me, just silence. Time moves, but it doesn't heal. It just hardens. Sophia's office isn't glass and steel anymore. It's brick. Old paint, second-hand desks, volunteers running on fumes and conviction. A legal aid clinic, her name whispered by women who never could have paid her fees back when she was untouchable. She doesn't wear power suits now. Just rolled up sleeves and ink stains on her fingers. The lioness, declawed, but still standing. Across town, I step into a courtroom lined with cameras. Victor Graves, the same man Sophia once defended, is seated at the defense table, smug and untouchable. The judge bangs the gavel. The trial begins. My words are knives again. Precision, no hesitation. Graves doesn't flinch, but his lawyers do. I dismantle their arguments the way a surgeon cuts rot from flesh. By the end of the day, the press is calling me the resurrection. But it's not victory I feel. It's distance. Because while I'm taking down titans, Sophia is rebuilding rubble. While I carve legacies, she's patching wounds no one sees. We are parallel lines. Same city, same air, same ghosts, never touching. And yet, every time I step into court, I know she's out there. Watching the same system. Fighting from a different angle. We're both clawing at justice. Just not together. The call comes just past midnight. Graves has her. Liam's voice, low and flat. He wants leverage. For a moment, I don't breathe. My pulse skips, then pounds. Images I don't want, her tied to a chair, her voice breaking, his shadow leaning over her. I don't hesitate. The meat is in a warehouse by the docks. Classic. He always loved theater. Floodlights cut through the dark, painting long, sharp shadows across rusted steel. Sophia's there. Hands bound, lips split, but alive. She lifts her head when she hears my footsteps. Ethan. I silence her with one glance. Not cruelty, just necessity. Graves leans back in his chair, smirking. I knew you'd come. You always clean up her messes. I don't waste time. No bargaining. No bluffs. Just precision. Terms. Conditions. A deal that cuts his legs out without him realizing until it's too late. In 20 minutes, he's on his knees, his empire in ashes. And Sophia's free. I untie her wrists. Her skin is cold. She whispers, why did you come? I don't answer. I step back, turn, and walk into the night. The sound of waves, the echo of chains, the silence between us, louder than anything she could have said. I save her life. And leave her behind. The envelope is thin. Handwritten. My name on the front in ink that wavers, like her hand wasn't steady when she wrote it. I sit at my desk, the city a blur of lights through the window. I don't open it right away. I already know what's inside. Finally, I break the seal. Her words spill out. Ethan. Her voice is in my head as I read. I won every case but lost you. I see her bent over the page, forcing herself to write what she'd never say aloud. I thought strength was winning. I thought love could wait. I was wrong. My throat tightens. My hand trembles, just once. Then still. I don't want forgiveness. I just want you to know, you were the only verdict that mattered. I fold the paper. Slow. Precise. Then I strike a match. The flame takes it quick. Orange, then black. Her handwriting curling into ash. I set the match in the tray and watch the smoke rise, gray against the glass skyline. No words spoken. No tears. Just fire. Because whatever she lost, I've already buried. Years pass. Not quickly, not cleanly, just a slow grind of days that harden into years. Sophia stands in a cramped office, the smell of burnt coffee and cheap paper. She leans across a desk toward a woman with a bruise fading along her cheek. The woman trembles as she signs the forms. Sophia's hand steadies hers. No cameras. No applause. Just two women in a room, one breaking free because the other refused to walk away. Her victories are smaller now. Quieter. But real. Across the city, I stand before the Supreme Court. The air hums with history. Pages of precedent stack in my mind like weapons. I speak, steady and relentless, the weight of the room bending with each word. When the gavel strikes, I know, the case will shape the law for decades. My victory echoes through headlines, through marble halls, through a world that will never know her name. Later, I see the newsprint, our lives reduced to parallel columns. Elias Carter wins landmark case. A few pages over, local clinic expands free legal aid. 2 stories. 2 verdicts. Never crossing. We both won. And we both lost. Flashbulbs pop. The air smells like polished marble and fresh paint. Reporters swarm, microphones raised like weapons. The statue stands taller than I do. Bronze, unyielding, every line sharpened into permanence. My likeness, cast in metal. Elias Carter, protector of the law. Immortal, at least in stone. The mayor shakes my hand. Cameras snap. A reporter shouts above the noise. Mr. Carter, what about Sophia Hale? Any comment on her role in your story? The question hits harder than the applause. For a moment, the world tilts. I hear her laugh from years ago, sharp and careless. I see her eyes the night she signed the divorce papers without looking up. I smell smoke from the letter I burned. But none of that reaches my face. I smile for the cameras, the perfect smile I've practiced for years. The law doesn't look back, I say. The crowd claps. Another question fires. Another handshake. Another flash. But inside, silence. The statue gleams in the sun. Cold. Eternal. A monument to a man I built out of ashes. And if she's out there, watching, I won't turn my head. The crowd is still buzzing, but I feel it before I see her. That familiar weight pressing against the air. She stands at the edge of the gathering, half hidden behind a cluster of onlookers. No black suit this time. No armor. Just Sophia, older, steadier, a quiet gravity about her. Our eyes lock. The years collapse in that glance. The laughter. The lies. The courtroom wars. The nights we tore each other apart without touching. Every word we left unsaid, all of it pressed between us in the silence. And then, she smiles. Not triumphant. Not bitter. Just faint. Human. It lands heavier than any verdict. I don't move. I don't speak. My face stays carved like the bronze behind me. But something shifts. A balance I can't name. She turns. Walks away. The crowd swallows her. The sun flashes off the statue's scales, one side weighted, one side rising. And for the first time in a decade, the scales are balanced.